just a quick demonstration on how to test and see if your wastegates are bad. So this is the front turbo off of my 2007 335. As you can see, we're at 0 inches of vacuum. You need one of these little vacuums. This is just a Mighty Vac one from AutoZone. Shout out to AutoZone, please sponsor me. $30 piece. So this has been the most effective diagnosis tool I've got for turbos. So what happens is you're supposed to be able to pull 7 inches of vacuum, 7 inches of mercury on these wastegates, and they'll shut. So if we're up to 15 right now, this wastegate hasn't even budged yet. So what happens is you push it, snap shut. Not supposed to do that. That is a bad actuator, and it doesn't help that I think the wastegate's actually binding here, and not, instead of moving smoothly within itself, it's kind of twisting and binding. I think that's why it's doing that, and then it's probably killed the actual actuator as a result. We've got a new one. So that wastegate rattle you hear, it's all this slop. This is a bad wastegate. This is not supposed to move nearly like this. That's really bad. So if we move over to the good turbo, this is the rear turbo on my 335 here. This wastegate has very little play. It rattles a little bit, but that's kind of within spec. So if we are to try and pull a vacuum on this one, we'll just get switched over real quick here. Pop this guy on that. This is the most accessible of the two. This one you can actually change the wastegate actuator without taking the turbo off the car. The other one is pressed up against the side of the engine. Hence this right here, tucked away. Not the same story for this side, which I really wish this was the one that was bad. The turbo itself is just fine, but you can't just service that on the car. You have to actually pull everything out. This one's okay. So we'll do the same test again here. We'll pull 7 inches of mercury, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's up to 8. And as you can see, this wastegate is fully shut. This is how it's supposed to be. No play, no nothing. This is solid as can be. This turbo checks out. This wastegate is good. This actuator is good. So it's not going to get replaced. This is the one for the front. That one is new, of course. That one holds a perfect vacuum. This one does not. I've tested it just like this, and it is very woeful. It leaks really bad. So, this whole front turbo is just not good. Well, this wise. The actual turbo blades themselves are fine. No shaft play of any kind. All straight, all smooth. Spool's normal. No signs of wear or tear or anything. So, bad wastegate and actuator. Good wastegate and actuator. This one's holding a perfect vacuum. And as you let it go, of course it pops right back open. And it's still that normal kind of little bit of rattle. I have got a set of upgraded, they are from TurboLab America. They're the nice, really, really nice billet TIG welded wastegates. They're going to be here hopefully pretty soon. We'll have a follow-up video to that. And just a quick explanation. The good, the bad, the ugly. This is atrocious. This should be nowhere near this. This is not holding any boost. That explains the 30FF. That explains the really, really bad spool. So, foot to the floor. I mean, this is a manual. So if you just do a quick test, hold in second gear, do a quick pull from lowest RPM you can do without, getting yourself hurt or hurting the car. And then all the way up to red line. This thing would only pull 2 pounds all the way up to about 6 or 7 at red line. It would not pull more boost than that, and it was just barely getting this wastegate, not even fully shut. So if you're having a 30FF and you've got a really, really slow spool, first thing to check is, of course, the actual actuators. These guys right here, the solenoids. I mean, you'll hear when these start to go out, they make a ticking noise. They sound really nasty. But I tested them, they're fine. The next logical step was to pull a vacuum on the wastegate and pull the downpipe off. And see, now it's not binding, but a lot of the time, there it goes again. It gets really tight all of a sudden. If you move it a certain way, right there, it's stuck, just dead stuck. And that's the way it's supposed to be pulling, is straight. If you push it down and pull it, it's fine, but if you pull up on it, it doesn't move. So that's all getting replaced. just another quick explanation on how to check and change and figure out that. If you start hearing the wastegate rattle when you're in your car and you're at idle, you'll hear it go. That's when you know you got this coming. So, you know, when you start to hear these things, I know MHD and JB4 kind of compensate for that with a tune, but it's a matter of time before this kind of stuff happens.